Taurus, hi, what's up? My name is Desi. This is my channel, Starchaeology Tarot, and this is your Nope, it's not though. This is your March tarot reading. And when I say March, I don't mean what a band does. I mean the month. So welcome. I can't wait to dive into your month of March and see what Spirit has in store for you. What even can I say to you guys that will encapsulate how much I love you? I'm just so happy that you're here. Part of this collective, part of this community of seekers, part of this community of sensitive folk. Okay, what was I saying though? Oh yeah, I just love you and I'm so grateful that you're here. Thank you for liking up, subscribing if you have done that. If you haven't, I'm not gonna say thank you, but I am gonna say still I love you and thanks for being here. And also maybe you wanna like and subscribe. I don't know, that's just a weird idea that came to me. So let's begin this reading. I'm going to take a moment to call in Spirit and shuffle. Please take this time to tune into you. Tune into your higher self, tune into your guides. What are you seeking in this reading? Some of this is gonna resonate and some of it won't. What resonates is what is meant for you. What doesn't, it's not meant for you, so don't try to take it. Let's do this. Okay, Taurus, we have the Seven of Swords, we have the Hanged Man, we have the Knight of Swords. A lot of examining your thoughts in March. You're going to be thinking very differently. You might be thinking so differently that your way of thinking, of being, might look upside down to other people. It might even look upside down to you, but you're going to find yourself in it. So your perspective is literally going to be changed. It's going to be flipped. And that means that this is a time of self-individualization. You are breaking away from someone mentally or something mentally. And it's that mental shift going off in your own direction that is setting you apart and also just defining who you are. Don't be afraid, don't be tempted to not be who you really are because someone else sees it as being upside down or opposite of what they believe or of what they are thinking. That is not reason to not set yourself apart. Part of the process of individualizing, of defining yourself as an individual means disagreeing with others. And some people might not like your strategy or approach to this. There is power, though, for you in waiting, letting this incubation period of reorganizing your perspective inform what your action is, not taking action just for the sake of action. The Knight of Swords is someone who doesn't know how to sustain a long struggle. His eagerness in battle is innocence in battle. And it's just because he's never lost one. But you have lost battles, Taurus. You know better than to act according to someone whose life experience doesn't match yours. This person's life experience does not match yours. Whether this actually is representing someone else in your life, or this is just a version of you that's trying to emerge, that's this voice in your head that feels like pressure and anxiety, like I have to act now, I have to do something about this. This is a very different approach than the Seven of Swords approach, which is strategizing for the long haul. And the Hanged Man is also a card that represents extended periods of time. It's an incubation period. It's a time of passivity and waiting, of having your hands tied, of sacrificing sometimes time or action for the sake of being still enough and quiet enough to receive the wisdom that you need to receive. I'm hearing for some of you, Taurus, you're waiting for a specific something to happen in March that is simply something for you to observe, that is going to give you so much information about choices that you're going to make moving forward. And you can't rush that. You can't fake observing something that isn't there. The only way to do this and then not bypass it is to just be still and observe. Gather the information until the information is gathered. There's no way to fast forward that. There's no way to bypass that. So embrace it, surrender to that process, which might be slower than expected, or might be slower than what this voice in you or this person, this influence on you, is leading you to believe. Part of the surrender here, part of the sacrifice here, means choosing to wait, choosing to surrender to having your hands tied for a moment behind your back, and recognizing that the sacrifice and surrender isn't in and of itself bad, but actually can lead to your enlightenment. It can lead to important enlightenment that this Knight of Swords is not going to reach because they're moving too quickly. This enlightenment comes from patience. It comes from stillness. It comes from the incubation time. So definitely don't... I guess the piece of advice I'm hearing is willingly surrender to that. Willingly sacrifice. Swiftness. Sacrifice immediate gratification. Satisfy immediate certainty for the sake of gaining and collecting all of the information, all of the observations that you will be noticing and collecting from this new vantage point in March. There's no way to fake your way through that. This is really interesting too, the Seven of Swords coming before that, because I keep saying the word fake. Don't fake your way through that. You can't fake your way to enlightenment. You can't fake a sacrifice either. It has to be an honest sacrifice, because the universe knows if you're really truly surrendering, if you're really truly letting go, or if you're just telling yourself, no, I'm letting go, and I'm actually not letting go. Like you're holding on to letting go. The Seven of Swords often indicates deceit. It indicates something not being transparent, some sort of deception, some sort of imposter in place here. So it's funny because I haven't even really talked about that yet, but the Hanged Man, I keep saying you can't fake that. And here we have a card literally showing someone attempting to fake this Hanged Man experience. If you try to deceive others in what you're doing, you ultimately deceive yourself. If you try to deceive the universe what you're doing, the person who gets shortchanged is you. This is largely about being transparent with yourself, Taurus. Being transparent about determining what it is that you need to willingly surrender to, and you know what it is, and there is no way to bypass it. There is no way to half do it and somehow like trick the process or trick others around you. There's no tricking others, there's no tricking yourself. Another interpretation of both of these can be impulsive acts. You might find yourself surrounded in March, Taurus, by people taking impulsive action. And it might pressure you to take impulsive action. You are an island in this sea of impulsive action, in this sea of impulsiveness. There isn't a way to get out of that for you. What is right for other people, spontaneous, impulsive action, it might look good at the moment to you, what they're doing, but that it's usually, it might look good to you, what they're doing in this moment, but you won't feel this way months or years later when you see what the results are of this impulsive action that others are taking. Careful action, careful planning is what's required here. And that, at least for you, that's what's required for you. If you want to be aligned with your highest path, your highest self, what your goals and dreams are. Impulsive action will not serve you. It's also interesting because the Seven of Swords often indicates like craftiness, along with this deception, betrayal, non-transparency theme. There's like a craftiness or a cleverness that sometimes is valued and appreciated. And we look at someone who's crafty and we think, oh, they're very smart. The person, though, in this situation who might be crafty, whether that's someone around you or it's you attempting to be crafty, I'm really hearing that it's not, ultimately, the craftiness doesn't benefit the person who thinks they're being crafty. The person who thinks they're tricking, they're pulling tricks. They're the ones who get the tricks pulled upon, ultimately. For some of you, Taurus, this is a person who has actually betrayed you in some way, and it's put you in this position where your hands are tied. It's put you in this position where you are forced to surrender or sacrifice something. That's not, again, a reason to take swift action in response to this betrayal, in response to this imposter in your life. But it is reason to, what I'm hearing is like you're sacrificing time and energy that you thought you'd be devoting elsewhere. And now you're devoting it to this. And it's kind of put you between a rock and a hard place. And you can't act. And that's okay. You don't have to act on this right now. You don't have to act. You don't have to respond to this betrayal right now. There is great purpose and blessing in the waiting, in the placement of being between the rock and the hard place, even if you can't see it right now. When you come out of it, you will be much better armed and suited up for battle than this Knight of Swords, who would race into the battle and ultimately be defeated because of a lack of careful planning. So it's this hangman period again that's just like, it's flipping your world around. And maybe this betrayal has flipped your world around. It has flipped your world upside down. And while that feels, that might feel very bad right now, it ultimately is leading to your enlightenment. It is leading to your expansion as an individual, to deeper wisdom, to deeper knowing, to deeper self-trust, and also trust in the universe around you that you can surrender to this moment. You can surrender to the pain of maybe this situation and trust that it's going to be transmuted into something that ultimately makes you more powerful, more strong. better moving forward as you move along your path. Taurus, I hope that was helpful. This is such a complex month for you. I would love to hear in detail, or any details, about how this looks specifically for you, how this manifests. So feel free to comment below and share with me if you are feeling open and you want to share your heart. I am ready to receive it. I'm psyched to receive it. And if this was helpful or enlightening in any way, feel free to give this vid a sweet, sweet like. It would mean a lot to me and to the future of this community that I'm trying to build. Thank you so much for being here, for connecting with me. I'm rooting for you in March. I love you, and I'll see you next time.